That's impossible!
I know this is difficult to believe, but you'll understand someday. Born from a Magnus, you were, how should I put it, excessively human. You had too many of the flaws present in human beings, and you were born with just one wing. Gelderblame was unsatisfied with the results of that experiment. What he wanted was a pure, perfect life form. His intention was to study the madness of such a life form and to unlock the secret of eternal life. He would call this hypothetical life form the Divine Child.
The Divine Child?
Since around that time, Gelderblame became obsessed with overcoming the limitations of human beings. Georg furthered his studies based on your Magnus, making improvements until several years later, another life was born. A child born of a true, living Magnus.
So you're trying to tell me that Fee, he was created too? But Codell, one of the witches, said she didn't feel any Magnus within me.
Your Magnus is quite different from those found in this world. Georg had drastically modified the original Magnus. Suppose you brought in a creature with blue blood instead of red and asked someone to study its blood. Many would shake their heads and say, "It's not possible, as the creature has no blood at all." When people think of blood, they picture a red liquid. A blue liquid would not fit the description. They would need someone to point out to them that it's simply a matter of the creature's blood being blue. Until then, they would picture the creature as being bloodless, even if the blood was right there in front of their eyes. A similar thing could be said about your Magnus.
I think I get what you're trying to say.
Back to the subject. After Fee was born, Georg was a man redeemed. The time he spent with you and Fee may have stirred something within him that had been dormant for a long time. Or maybe there was something about Fee that brought about these changes in him. Eventually, 12 years ago, we decided to escape from the Empire.
Tell me, Lerikush, what on earth have we done? We succeeded in creating life from a Magnus. But for what purpose? Is it worth anything at all? Or did we merely open a door leading to further sorrow and despair?
Georg, we have other things to think about right now. We need to make a decision. After all, we're their parents. It's our responsibility to do the right thing and
Right. You're absolutely right.
What do you want to do? Follow Gelderblame's orders and continue your research?
No, we must put an end to this. Callus and Fee can no longer be victims of his vile ambitions.
I understand. There's only one thing we can do then.
Yes. Let's destroy this lab with explosives so that no records or samples can be recovered. Nothing shall remain.
We'll feign our deaths in the explosion and leave the Empire in secret. We should head for Mehr.
That island is close to the dimensional boundary and periodically shifts between dimensions. Even if they find out we set up the explosion, being in Mehr should buy us some time. The four of us will live in peace. You, I, Callus, and Fee.
Shh! Someone's coming!
I came to confirm tomorrow's schedule for the holomaton experiments. How is your analysis of its Magnus coming along?
No problems. It's going exactly as planned.
We need to account for fluctuations related to his growth patterns. We need more time, to be sure. I've told you this repeatedly.
So you need more time. How much? 5 more years? 10? At your current rate, it may well take forever. We need results, not excuses. The Emperor's patience has its limits. Also, you have orders to dispose of the defective sample tomorrow. It's no longer of any use to us. No need to keep it alive.
Giacomo, how could you?
Georg! Don't!
Giacomo, let me ask you. This experiment we're working on, the Emperor's plans, don't they bother you at all?
You, of all people, should know better. I'm not like you or my father. Thanks to your experiments, I now wield a power no mundane human could ever hope for. Besides, you started all this in the first place. Now is not the time for regrets. You will continue the experiment. I will see to that, I assure you. I myself can hardly wait. What this project will show us, where it will lead us. There's so much to look forward to. Emperor! The laboratory is in flames!
Everything went as planned. We managed to reach Mira under the guise of travelers. Maybe it was from the shock of the explosion, when you awoke, after you'd lost memory of everything that had happened until then. Fee was only 3 years old, so he didn't seem to remember much either. Soon after, I left Mira and came to live here. I don't know exactly what happened to you in Mira 2 years ago. Georg and I had lived separate lives. Imagine how surprised I was when seeing you brought to this village.
Giacomo died in the Imperial capital.
Is that so?
So, I was born of a Magnus. Georg created me? I can't believe that.
I'm not surprised. Take your time, boy. Let it sink in. Either way, you are yourself. That how you were born is unimportant. It's the same for anybody. We don't choose to be born. We simply realize one day that we're here, that we exist. I have something for you. Georg asked me to give it to you, should you need it one day. This must be the time.
Gramps left me something?
Yes. Way back then, when we had settled down in Mira, Georg told me he intended to leave something for you. I don't know what it is, but you'll find it in a cabin up in the Celestial Alps.
The Celestial Alps?
Yes. There's a cabin near the mountaintop. Georg and I built it after we left the Empire.
A cabin in the Alps. He stashed it there, huh?
Yes. I suggest you go there and look for it.
Ansicht wählen, das Rad lässt sich nur schwer wieder anhalten. Ein Rad von dieser Größenordnung schon gar nicht. Deine Aufgabe besteht nunmehr in seiner Richtung. Richtung zu bestimmen. Kein anderer kann jetzt darüber entscheiden. Das Schicksal der Welt liegt in deinen Händen. Viel Glück. Na denn?
Doctor, I need to ask you one last thing. Who gave me my name?
The Emperor, Gelderblame. Hearing you were not the perfect being he had envisioned, he called you an ill omen, a cursed premonition of things to come. He named you Callus, which means raven in a long-lost language.
Huh.
I see.
After we left the Empire, Jorg and I tried to give you a new name, but you would have none of it. Your name was the one thing you remembered.
I guess it was the reason for my existence. And my hatred. Something I just couldn't get rid of.
Callus, are you okay?
I'm fine. Would you all come with me to the Celestial Alps? The doctor said Gramps left me something there.
No problem. I don't know what went on in there between you and the dog, but cheer up, kid.
Yes, we have so much left to do. We need you in high spirits.
You're clear, Caius. The great visit begins.
Focus your thoughts solely on this mission. You'll have plenty of time for reflection once it's over. Survival is priority one.
Thanks. All of you. Yeah. Let's go, everyone.
So. Schauen wir doch mal, wo die Himmelsalpen sind. Na, nicht hier. So viel ist schon mal klar. Ah, komm. Wir gehen doch lieber noch mal kurz eben. Schnell so ein bisschen speichern. So. Weiter geht's. Hey. Hallo Drache. Ja, benutzen wir ihn. Na so. Verstehe.